Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Gorgie Boys podcast with myself, Graham Duffy. This is episode 4, all about Heart of Midlothian Football Club, who yesterday turned in our best performance this season with a 6-0 dismantling of Dundee, which I'm still in shock over. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a good weekend so far. I certainly have. After yesterday, it was very unexpected. As always, the live chat is open. I don't know how long I'll be here for. My laddie does have a game later on, so I don't know how long I'll be here for. But I will be looking back at that fantastic victory for Hearts yesterday. As I say, the comments are open, so get in the live chat. Any comments you've got, stick them in the live chat and I will read them out as soon as I can. First comment's already in. Robbie Collins, all right, mate? What a win for you guys yesterday. Managed to catch the highlights earlier. Some great football played and some good goals scored, specifically that Spittle strike cracker. It was indeed, mate. I mean, I don't know what happened to you yesterday, because I generally thought St Mirror would beat St Johnstone, but that's just football for you. JM6 enthusiast, we are so bad. Yeah, I mean, we are here to talk about Hearts, but obviously I'll try and answer any other comments that come in. But yesterday, Gregor McIntosh, good morning, mate. How the fuck did we lose that so bad? Mate, even I don't know how you lost that 6-0. I did not expect that, but I'm still buzzing, I'm going to be honest. We couldn't beat a ball of dough. Slightly harsh, Robbie. But anyway, so yesterday, Hearts travelled to Dens Park to take on a really, really good Dundee side. Now, Dundee hadn't played for a week because the game against Celtic had been called off. And the game before that, they lost to Dundee United in the Cup. But this is going to be a tough game. You know, Dundee did have players back, and they had players that did concern me. Simon Murray seems to score against Hearts. But the Hearts lineup, now, I put a thing on TikTok a few days ago with a predicted Hearts lineup. I was one player off. I was so close to getting it right. But we played 4-4-2, which I quite like. So the starting lineup was Craig Gordon in goal. The back four that I expected: James Penrith at left back, Adam Forrester at right back, with Jamie McCart and Lewis Nielsen in the centre. On the left midfield, Blair Spittle. On the right, Musa Drami, within Cammy Devlin and Benny Beningame in the centre. And up front, Elton Kabangu and the return of Lawrence Shankland, which I think surprised a few folk, because I expected James Wilson to start, and I think he should have done, because he has played well. But I suppose he's only 17. He's not going to play every game. You don't want to burn him out. But I was slightly surprised that Shankland was back. We also had Michael Steinwender, the new guy from Austria, on the bench. There was no Sander Khartoum. He wasn't quite ready yet. But the good thing about yesterday was we had Neuenhoff and Gerald Taylor also back on the bench, along with Forrest Vargas as well. So it was a strong Hearts lineup. And I thought we started the game quite well. I thought we started on the front foot with a chance early on. Really good ball into the box from James Penrith, who has just been, for me, our best player this season by an absolute mile. Great cross in and a really good header by Lawrence Shankland and a decent save by Trevor Carson. But I thought we started the game quite well. I thought we pressed really well. You know, we weren't letting Dundee really settle into the game. Robbie says, I went 2-2 for this game, mainly on the point Dundee have done an actual good last 3 games beforehand. I thought it would be a very close game. To be honest, mate, I think most folk did. My prediction was 2-1. Anyone that predicted 6-0, they're lying, because nobody would have predicted that. You know, I've already said I don't think many teams will go to Dundee and win 6-0. Even the old firm, it just won't happen. But like I said, I think we started the game very well. I thought we were quite positive. We do get the first goal after 15 minutes. It's really good play as well from Kabangu. Really good running from him. He holds it up, lays it to Spittle. Spittle plays the ball into the box. It's a brilliant first touch from Lawrence Shankland. And his second touch on his left foot drives it low behind Trevor Carson. It's a great finish. And the type of goal that Lawrence Shankland was scoring last season, you know, one where he doesn't have to think about it, it's just instinctive, and it's a brilliant finish. And he's got a fantastic record against Dundee, which, you know, sometimes players have that, where they just have that one team they always score against. Look at John Robertson, 27 goals against him, so it's a prime example. But Shankland just seems to know how to score against Dundee. But it was great to see him back in the goal trail. And the way we played, even though it was a 4-4-2, Shankland was dropping slightly deeper, so it kind of meant Kabangu up top and Shankland dropping into that hole. Sam Elliott, do you think Aberdeen will sack their manager? I don't yet, because I think he's got enough credit in the bank, given the way he started the season. But that is now 15 games without a win. I don't know what's going wrong with Aberdeen. And the stat that I brought up a few days ago, at Christmas time, Hearts had 16 points, Aberdeen had 34. Now, they've got 35, we've got 30. So it's been a massive collapse. And if we were to catch Aberdeen and overtake them, which is very possible, that would be mental. But I think Jimmy Thielen will get longer. He's done well at the start. It's just been a really bad fall-off, but I think they will get better. GM6 enthusiast, Shankland always scores against us. He does. It's incredible, that record he's got. Robbie Collins, I've seen a very small amount of people try to blame Carson for that. Absolutely no keeper saving a snapshot like that. No, there's no way. You've also got to look at the fact that it goes through quite a few bodies as well. It is just a fantastic finish. Darren Ross, good morning. What a glorious day it is. Oh, mate, I'm still on cloud nine after that because I don't think anyone expected that. So that was the first goal after 50 minutes, but we get another one 2 minutes later. What I would say as well is the second goal starts from Cammy Devlin, who I think is very underappreciated, underrated. He presses, wins the ball back. Shankland plays it out wide to Musa Drami. Musa puts the ball in the box. It's cleared, but not very far, to the edge of the box. Blair Spittle takes a great first touch, but his second touch is an absolute fantastic finish on his left foot, top corner. Trevor Carson's got no chance. You could stick three keepers in, they ain't saving that. The technique that Spittle shows to control that into the top corner is phenomenal. And it just goes to show how good a player Blair Spittle is. That's 6 goals for him this season. And that's probably the pick of the bunch. And I'll be honest, I love a top corner finish. I always think there's something aesthetically pleasing about that. It's such a good finish. And at that point, you kind of think, where's this coming from? Because I genuinely don't think I expected that after 70 minutes for Hearts to be 2-0 up against a good Dundee side. But I didn't think, after that, I didn't think we really controlled the game that well. We didn't really have any periods of possession. I thought we let Dundee back into the game without them really causing a lot of problems. I was slightly concerned by Dundee's front two, Adwumi and Simon Murray, against our backline. Now, I'll get on to praising certain players shortly, but the one thing I saw at the start of the game was a lot of folks saying Lewis Nielsen shouldn't start. Bring Steinwinder in. I never thought Steinwinder would start. He's not played since November, so I always thought there was a chance that Nielsen would start. But I thought him and McCart were excellent defensively against Adwumi and Simon Murray. They gave him absolutely nothing to work off. I thought Dundee's biggest threat was down the right-hand side with Josh Mulligan. I thought he was probably their main player. I'll get some more comments coming in here. Darren Ross, you can't sack a manager that can still get third, but at the same time, if they don't win their next few games or lose in the cup, then huge pressure will be on Thielen, which is a fair point. I genuinely think he's got to take credit in the bank, so I don't think it'll happen. GM6 enthusiast, absolutely fuming that 2 United players scored the first 2 goals. I know it was great, wasn't it? Darren Ross definitely starts off the third one as well. I'm just coming to that, Darren. Clark Robertson slower than a week in jail. Robbie, it was hit to perfection, just a proper pick-out moment. It was brilliant. How tall is Lewis Nielsen, by the way? Looks bloody massive. I think he's about, 6'1", if not more than that. But honestly, it was a colossus yesterday. But, like I said, I didn't think we really controlled the game. But it wasn't like Dundee created a lot. We had a chance to get a third goal in the first half. Really, really good play from Benny Maringame. It's a great challenge, although Dundee fans weren't happy. But he wins the ball cleanly. We then break. It's played to Kabangu, and his powerful effort is saved by Trevor Carson. I mean, Kabangu will get to him shortly, but it was a threat all day with his pace and movement. Really good strike, but decent save by Carson. Dundee's only real moment of the game in the first half was towards the end of the first half. Really good bowling from Josh Mulligan. It finds Simon Murray, but it's a poor header. He doesn't get enough head. He doesn't get enough on it to trouble Craig Gordon. He heads it straight at him. If he heads it to the side, maybe he's got a chance, but it's a weak header. Darren Ross, that was a cracking tackle. It was a great challenge, but Dundee fans weren't happy. James, 6 enthusiast, if we lose to Aberdeen at home next season, I'm going to lose it. Robbie, when will Sander Khartoum be available? Excited to see what he can do after watching him against us for Bran. I think he'll be fit for the game next week against St Mirren, to be honest, mate. He maybe could have made it to the bench yesterday, but he's not quite fully there yet. But I'd imagine on the week's training he'll be back. So, yeah, there wasn't really much in the way of chances for Dundee in that first half, bar that Simon Murray chance. But, Hearts scoring for the half-time 2-0 up. And I said on kind of TikTok at half-time, let's just kind of not chuck this away. Because I remember, and many Hearts fans remember, the 2-0 up in the last 2 minutes against Ross County, and we chucked it away. So I was slightly worried about that, because I thought Dundee will come out second half and really press us. We need to see the game out. But I did not expect what happened in the second half. So we get the third goal. And as Darren quite rightly says, that starts with Cammy Devlin. Devlin wins the challenge in the right back position. Not once, but twice. Wins the challenge. Puts her up the line to Kabangu. Cabangu holds the ball up, lays it to Shanklin, but he doesn't stop. It's a brilliant ball from Shanklin, but the pace from Cabangu is frightening. I didn't even realise how quick that boy was. Really, really quick. And it's a really composed finish. Gets into the box, sticks it to the left, Trevor Carson, 3-0 up. And I think Hearts are pretty much in dreamland at that point. Let's get some more comments here. Daniel Nero Jaffrey. I reckon third, just between us and Hibs. I think United will fall away. Nice to see both Edinburgh clubs doing good. I'd rather Hibs weren't, to be honest, but there you go. Robbie Collins, brilliant. Going to be bosses about for 90 minutes. He probably won't start, to be honest, Robbie. James, Six Enthusiast, we lost because Jordan McGee didn't play. Jordan McGee seems to like a goal against Hearts as well, so I'm glad he wasn't playing. Darren Ross, my only worry is we go from having Shanklin to Cabangu, which could propel us to an unthinkable third or fourth in the league, and then lose both of them in the summer. We'll strengthen big in the summer, Darren. We will strengthen in the summer. If we can, we need to take up the option of signing Cabangu now, because the guy looks absolute quality. If Shanklin goes, I'm not going to be overly concerned, because we'll strengthen, I think. JM6 Enthusiast, Carson had a right stinker with a fourth goal, so it all seems that Dundee don't have a good goalie. I'll come into that as well. Carson didn't have a particularly great game, but a few of the goals are good nothing about. But that third goal, the pace of Cabangu is frightening. But what a pass from Lawrence Shanklin too. I thought looked back to his best yesterday. Hopefully that form will continue, because he looked really, really good yesterday. He had the hunger and the desire that I think's lacked for a while. So we're 3-0 up and we're in dreamland. Then we get the fourth goal, as JM6 Enthusiast here says. I don't know what Carson's doing. It's a free kick from wide on the right, or from wide on the left, from Blair Spittle into the box. There's no real danger. Trevor Carson comes out. I don't know if he takes his eye off it, but he bumps it off his own player. The ball lands on the ground. Fair play to Musa. Musa manages to knock it home under pressure. And 4-0 up, it was just unexpected, but it's really poor from Trevor Carson. I don't know what he's doing there. Darren Ross, try not to get the glass half empty fan, but without that arse collapsing, Grant penalty miss would be above Aberdeen. I said that on TikTok last night, Darren. That's the frustration for me. If we hadn't lost those points against Ross County, and if Grant scores a penalty, I think the league table is looking a lot rosier for Hearts than it is just now. Not that 7th is bad, but it's looking a lot better. JM6 Enthusiast, Carson doing his best McCracken impression. Robbie Collins, Carson disaster class, and I loved watching that in the replay. I don't know what he's doing. I just think he takes his eye off it, because there's no real pressure on him. JM6 Enthusiast, if anyone says we aren't a relegation battle, they're waffling. I think you'll be fine, mate. I genuinely think you'll be fine. I don't think you'll get relegated, but that fourth goal just kind of summed up Dundee's afternoon. Nothing went right for them. As good as I thought Hearts were, Dundee defensively were very poor yesterday. And all you've got to do is listen to Tony Docherty. I thought he was pretty much bang on in his assessment. Darren Ross, Musacic, a banter player for us. It gives us everything he has, which is such a mixed bag, but I love a player that gives his all. I'll be honest, I was sat there first half, Darren, thinking, I don't know what Musa's offered. He's offered nothing going forward. But what he does do is he works very hard defensively. He puts in a shift and he helps out Adam Forrester. So I kind of like that, but I want to see more going forward. Now, again, I have to remember he's still young. He's a young lad. He's still working really hard. So I was glad he got his goal. He did work hard. So, but he needs to offer more, I think, going forward. Robbie Collins, how much would it cost to get Elton permanently? Is there an option to buy? Yes, there is, Robbie. I don't know how much, but right now we've got the money to go and pay for him. So go and get him now, because this guy is absolute class. Honestly, I love this guy. JM6 Enthusiast, our attack was invisible and Lyle Cameron doesn't care anymore. Yeah, I thought Cameron was very quiet. Couldn't get involved in the game at all. Do you think Musa could play right back? Well, to be fair, he did okay when he moved back there to help out Forrester, so it could happen. All right, HMFC edits. But yeah, 4-0 up and absolutely cruising. It was so comfortable. But then we get goal number 5, and I don't know what my favourite goal is. I think it's at Spittle, but this has got something about it as well. Really good bowling from James Penrice, as always. It's actually, I didn't notice it at the time, but it's a great flick on by Kenny Vargas. And what a volley from Elton Cabangu. Again, the control he gets on that to keep it low, the power is incredible. It's just a sensational finish. And I think the Hearts fans behind the goal could have summed up how I felt during that game. It's just like, what's happening here? And Robert Borthwick in commentary could have said the same thing. It's like, what is going on here? This isn't what Hearts used to do. 5-0 up away to Dundee is just not something that ever happens. And it was fantastic to watch. But the thing is, we could have added to that. Kenny Vargas has got a chance after he comes on, which was well said by Trevor Carson. James Wilson's got a chance. Alan Forrest, who I thought looked quite lively when he came on, had a chance as well. But we do get goal number 6. And again, it's really good pressing. It's started by Benny, wins the ball, plays it to Forrest. Forrest with a really good ball to Kenny Vargas. And Kenny Vargas shows really good composure to finish that. He had a chance about 2 minutes before that. But it was a good finish from Kenny Vargas. And again, Vargas is another one that can be frustrating at times because there's a player in there, but I just sometimes feel he lacks that bit of composure in front of goal. But it's a good finish, and Trevor Carson doesn't even move. He's not going to save it, so he doesn't even bother moving. James, like enthusiast, Aaron Donnelly wasn't himself either. Yeah, Dundee were just all over the place yesterday. You know we're bad from Kenny Vargas. That's one past him. He could have had 2. Robbie Collins, yeah, to keep that one from floating out to Tannadice was impressive. Great control. I mean, it's just, even the power he gets on the volley, it's such a composed finish. And it just shows how good Elton Cabangu is. That's now 5 goals in 3 games. I know that 2 are against Brecon, but he's just given us a different dimension to our game, which I think we've lacked since Gino left. I'm loving these comments, by the way. You have to be shit when Vargas slots past you. Darren Ross, you can just tell Cabangu is off another level of ability. This summer is going to be so interesting for us. Yeah, I think we will probably see 7 or 8 players leave as 7 or 8 players come in. I genuinely think it'll be a big window for us in the summer, Darren. JM6 enthusiast. Hearts were singing Dundee's a shite hole. I want to go home, and I couldn't agree more. Glad I don't live in Dundee. I love this as you were in the batter in there. Daniel says, I'm glad Vargas scores. Hopefully someone buys a toxic player like that. Michael Bannerman, hi again. What result yesterday? Honestly, mate, I'm still on cloud 9 with that because I don't think anyone expected 6. Said at the start 2-1, but honestly, 6-0 was just incredible. And some of the football we played, I can't remember if it was 4-0 up at the time, but Craig Gordon gets the ball, plays it to the left. There's a bit of one-touch passing with Penrith and Forrest. It's fantastic football, and then Forrest has a shot blocked, and they said it during commentary. That would have been one of the goals of the season. It was honestly, the football we played was incredible at times yesterday. But that's what happens when you're winning games so comfortably. You know, losing's a habit, but so's winning. We've got that winning habit now. We're 7 games unbeaten all competitions. It's just fantastic. Darren Ross, I said it in the chat, but we look so much more fitter. Even Benny is managing to finish 90 minutes. We are much more ruthless as well. Under Robbie or Naismith would have stopped at 3 or 4-0 to save energy. That's a very good point, actually, because I think that would have happened at 3 or 4-0, we would have stopped. But this is what I like, and I put this on TikTok and a live I did yesterday. At 4-0, it's very easy to switch off and go, right, this game's won. Hearts didn't do that. They kept going right to the last minute and kept trying to get more goals. Now, whether that's a Critchley thing or the players just thought, we're loving this, let's keep going, I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoyed watching us yesterday, and it's been a long time since I could say that. So it was actually quite ironic yesterday as well, watching Sports Scene. We went to Dundee earlier on the season, got beat 3-1, and we've now won 6-0. And who's in the punditry yesterday on Sports Scene? Stephen Naismith. That was quite interesting. Never been back to Dundee since 1986. I thankfully missed that. Did you listen to the game? Yeah, I watched it, mate. Robbie Collins, mental how a couple of signings for teams can completely change perspective. You've got to say already Hearts become slightly favourites for the cup tie next week. Yeah, I think probably. And we've not seen Khartoum yet. I am still hoping that by the window tomorrow when it shuts at 11 o'clock, we've got a wide player in, because I think that's what we're lacking. I do think we're still lacking that quality out wide. That's why I don't predict Dundee wins anymore. I don't like predicting Hearts wins, because if I predict a Hearts win and we get beat, I look like an absolute mug. You mean if Forrest had looked up and squared it to Wilson? That's the one. I don't usually leave matches, but that was embarrassing. Even when we got beat 6-2 by Hibs, I didn't leave. I stayed till the end. My brother had the chance to go yesterday, but I had to miss it as his missus was hosting a baby shower. Fair to say, he was fuming. Oh, all the games to miss. It's like years ago in the Championship. I can't remember what I had on, but I missed the Hearts 10 Cowden Beef game, and I'm still raging that I missed that. But honestly, yesterday was just was just so impressive and so unexpected. And the league table now looks a lot better. Hearts are now up to 7th. We're a point off the top 6, a point behind Motherwell. We're 3 points off Hibs, and we're also only 5 points off Aberdeen. Now, after St Mirren Cup game next week, our next league game is Rangers at Tynecastle. I reckon against Rangers isn't great, but we should be going at that with confidence now. We should be looking at that going, we can beat Rangers at Tynecastle. We've got the players to do it. Michael Bannerman, looked like Danny Armstrong. Any news on that, Graham? Apparently nothing yet. I think we're still trying to get him on a pre-contract, but do you know what? We've got money for Kai Rolls, and we've got money for Oyugoki. I don't know how much, but we've got the money. Go and pay it now. Go and get him in now. I think the thing with Islam Chesnikov, that's gone very quiet. I don't see that happening, but I think we need a wide player. I don't get why people aren't talking about how good Spittlstrike was. It was sensational, almost as good as that one Gino goes against. I said that earlier, mate. It's a fantastic strike. Probably one of my favourites, actually. JM6 Enthusiast. I now realise that 4th and 11th are 10 points apart, so nothing's over. It's a long way to go in the season. There's now 8 games to go till the split, but we do have Celtic, Rangers and Hibs in that. Difficult games, but there's no reason the Hearts shouldn't be up there fighting for European football. And as well, I said on TikTok yesterday as well that if one of the top 4 wins the Scottish Cup, 5th gets Europe, Hearts have got to be in there. We have to be up there. I agree, I'd rather a Scottish player. And the thing is, Danny Armstrong, knows the league. He's a really good player. He can go on both feet. He's quick. Someone that I've said for a while that I'd quite like at Hearts. But I think we have to sign a wide player. I know there's possible talk about a centre-back because of the injuries we've got, but I don't think that'll happen. A left-back as well as cover for James Penrice, but I do know that Ethan Drysdale played for the B-team on Friday, so it might be that he might be the backup option. Darren Rothwell, winnable games against St Mirren, St Johnstone, Dundee United and Ross County. Could get something against Rangers at home and Motherwell away. Hibs is a 50-50 and probably a loss away to Celtic. That's fair. Wonder if you'll take a punt on Olasanya at the end of the season if you get Europe, or even if you don't. Do you know what, mate? I would take Olasanya. I've said it to you before. He's quick. He's athletic. He's a goal scorer as well. I would take Olasanya. I think we've got around 900,000 for Oyugoki, Graham. I mean, that's a pretty decent deal if we've got that. Go and spend it. You got the money, go and spend it. Anyone think Josh Mulligan at Dundee looks a player? I said earlier, he was Dundee's biggest threat for me. He was the only real player that I thought looked a decent player. Or Richard Taylor, actually, another one I could easily see go for you. Yeah, another good player, but I think we need a winger. That's what I think we need. Don't steal Mulligan from us. But yeah, the league table's looking a lot better, and you've got to say, Neil Critchley's doing such a good job. I know there's still a few Hearts fans are not convinced. Somebody just said to me on TikTok that he's Ian Cathro in disguise, which is harsh. I actually think Critchley's done a great job. This is his first transfer window. This is the first window with Jamestown. And I think if you look at the players he's brought in, now we can't really judge Steinwinder and Khartoum yet. We've not seen them play. But look for me at Jamie McCart, 29-year-old, and a lot of folk are saying why we brought him in. I think he's been brilliant. Honestly, I think McCart has been outstanding. Wins everything in the air. Good on the ball. He's helping Lewis Nielsen along as well. I think he's been brilliant so far. So that's what Jamestown's going to do. It's going to give you a list of players that I was watching Joel Sked on Heart Standard a couple of days ago about how Jamestown works. So Neil Critchley will go to them with a player that he thinks he needs. Like an example, he wants a centre-back. They will then use the computer to find out what's the best centre-back. It'll be a list of players. And then we'll go through it and look at the stats and stuff and say which one do we think is the best one. Jamie McCart's been brilliant. Honestly, the few games he's been, and he's got a goal as well. Could have had 2. But Jamie McCart's been outstanding so far. And a lot of folk when he came in said, why are we signing a 29-year-old? But he knows the league. He was at St Johnstone. He won 2 cups. This guy's been phenomenal. And then Elton Kabangu. I mean, what a player this guy is. Now, again, I go back to the fact he's got 5 goals, but 2 of them against Brecon. But what Hearts have lacked for a while is pace up front, power up front, movement. Kabangu's given us all that. So I think the Jamestown is going to work very, very well. Darren Ross, do you think there is any chance of a long-term Hearts future for Stone, Forrester, Nielsen, Denham, Tate and Pollock? It's a good question, Darren. And I would say off that lot, I would say yes. Now, I thought about this yesterday. Was there a better chance to get Pollock back from his loan? There's not. But I think Finlay Pollock's got real pace and real potential. I like him a lot. Harry Stone, I would like to see him getting a chance in goal. I think this will probably be Craig Gordon's last season. Then he'll retire. Then you maybe got Xander Clark and Harry Stone as your two goalkeepers. Forrester, I think, has been far better than folk give him credit for. Now, yes, there is times where maybe he's a bit lacking, a bit naive at times, but he's 19. I thought he was excellent yesterday. For all the stick he gets, I thought he was really good yesterday. So I think there's definitely a future for these guys. Lewis Nielsen, again, I thought was excellent. I'm going to come to him in a second. Macaulay Tate, I'm a big fan of him. Again, the midfield is probably our strongest area of the park, but I'd like to see more of him. And Aidan Denham is probably the one that I'm not quite sure about yet. There's a player in there, but I think he probably needs to go permanently for me. Michael Bannerman, McCart's quality. Honestly, he was so good yesterday. Won every ball in the air, won every challenge on the ground. He's solid as anything. Love the guy. Loving these comments, people. Thank you very much for this. I don't know how this would go, but I'm enjoying this. Robbie, think I'd say going off the way the first windows went, I'd say Critchell's exciting. If you can keep working with the scouting team and bringing in the players Hearts could be dangerous. What I like as well is he's getting the best out of some of these players as well. Like, TikTok Live, TikTok I did earlier, I did a video about Cammy Devlin. I think Cammy Devlin is one of the most underrated and underappreciated players at Hearts. I genuinely do. I see so many folk criticising him, saying he's not got the ability, he's not good on the ball. Cammy Devlin is the type of guy I want in my Hearts team. He works his socks off. And if you look at yesterday, and I think Darren mentioned this earlier, look at the second goal. Second goal comes from Cammy Devlin pressing. Third goal comes from Devlin winning the ball at the right back position. Not once, but twice, playing the ball forward. For me, I think he's a future Hearts captain if we keep him, and I'd love to keep him. Because I just think Devlin does the dirty work so well. And he's someone that I think the players look at and think, yeah, I want to be on your side. He's one of the first names in that team sheet for me, Cammy Devlin. He is so infectious, his character. And you're not an international for no reason. He's an Australian international for a reason. The guy's got a lot of quality that folk just don't seem to see. But I think Devlin is outstanding and so underappreciated. A Rangers fan said that this match was a fluke. Rangers won't go to Dundee and win 6-0, I'll tell you that right now. Michael Bannerman, Shankly made a big difference as well, mind. Yeah, I did say at the start of the show, I wasn't sure he should start. I thought Wilson deserves to start. But Shankly looked really good yesterday. He looked up for it. Honestly, his touch was great yesterday. He scored the first. He's involved in the third. He was just really, really good yesterday. And I actually think having Cabangu there takes the pressure off Shankland. Shankland could play the number 10 role like he did when Gino was here. And I think that would work quite well. Daniel, I was nervous about Nielsen starting, but he was very solid. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. McCart helped Nielsen through the whole game. That's what you want. You want that kind of experience, which McCart's got to help a young laddie through. But I thought Nielsen was brilliant. So dominant. He's, for me, a very young John Souttar. His passing range is actually better than folk give him credit for as well. I thought Nielsen was brilliant yesterday. Darren Ross, if you look at Brighton, they don't always sign the exotic Jamestown player. They sign players that they know the APL, like Milner, Lallana and Welbeck. We will do the same, I'd imagine. Yeah, absolutely. This is the first time we've used Jamestown Analytics, and it's also going to be used for managers as well. And I'll go back to this. When it was announced that Critchley had got the job, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure. Because you look at his record over the past few seasons, it's not been fantastic. And I thought there must be somebody better. But again, maybe that was ignorance on my part. Not really knowing too much about him. But I can see what he's trying to do. He's got a style of football that I think he's going to do very well in. He wants to play 4-4-2, which I quite like. And some games this season I think have been great. Like you look at the European games against Ammonia at home, some of the best football I've seen Hearts play for a while. And it will get better when he gets the players he wants. But I was probably very ignorant about Neil Critchley. I think he's done very well. And what I will say as well, see after games, you hear managers saying stuff and you think, what are you talking about? You watching the same game as me? After pretty much every game, Critchley's nailed everything. And if you look at last week, we won 3-2 against Kilmarnock, but he wasn't a manager that says, yeah, delighted with that, all that kind of stuff. He actually said we didn't play well. He wanted more. And I like that. You should always strive for better. And I really like that about a manager. He's an absolute engine. His value is priceless for us. Exactly. Honestly, I want Cammy Devlin signed on a new deal. Robbie, Devlin is the type of player that might not have the prettiest stats, but guarantee you'd look at his running monitor in training and it would be right at the top. Absolutely. He's one of the first names in the team sheet for me every week. It's Devlin and another. Obviously, right now you're looking at Benny thinking if Benny can stay fit, it's him. But you've got Noonhoff there. You've got Cartoon there. You do have players that can come in. But right now, Devlin for me is number one starting at midfield. He's brilliant. New contracts for Penrice and Devlin. I'd get rid of Kent, Grant, Oda, Mackay. Reluctantly get rid of Halkett. I would try one last deal with Shanks and a 50-50 on Benny and Kingsley. So, Penrice and Devlin, absolutely 100%. Penrice has been the best player of the season. There's no doubt about that. Kent, I quite like. Again, I think he gets a lot of stick, but I think Kent wins a lot in the air. He's defending very well. Grant, I agree with. He's been here 2 years, and I don't think he's done enough. I will say he's looked better in the number 6 role than he has as an attacking midfielder, but I wouldn't mind getting rid of him. Oda and Mackay, absolutely. They don't offer enough. Barry Mackay, I've said before, on his day, one of our most creative players, and he's got ability, but that day is 1 in 10. It's not enough. So yeah, I'd get rid of him. Oda, again, I think the talent's there, but he doesn't do enough. He's one of these wingers that doesn't take his defender on. He goes back too much. I'd agree with that. Halkett, he didn't that long sign a new deal, but again, injury. He just can't stay fit. I don't know what that guy's made of. And Benny and I kind of agree with Shanks as well. All right, Aviation, what's happening, mate? I'm just so glad that tiki-taka football is being slowly binned by teams. Seeing more teams winning games with less than 50% possession. 4-4-2. This is a thing, though. This is like a Pep thing. Everyone's trying to copy Pep Guardiola, play it for the back, which is fine if you've got the players to do it. But why are you trying that when you don't have the players to do it? It's like I watch all these teams trying to play this, playing it for the back, and I think, why are you doing that when you don't have the players to do it? Honestly, it's crazy how many teams try and do this, and they get caught. JM6 enthusiast. A lot of people laughed at me for saying Critchley is good, by the way. He is. Morning, Sam. How are you? Michael Bannerman. Critchley has improved Devlin already, though. His distribution always lets him die, but he seems to have improved it since Critchley came. I would agree. I think since Critchley came in, Devlin's probably the most improved player. Look at Southampton. Exactly. This style of football works if you've got the players to do it, if you've got defenders that are comfortable on the ball, if you've got midfielders that come and take it from the back. But too many teams don't have that. They cannot play that way. Stop trying to do it when you can't do it. Simo Valakari is at the SPFL Pep, and I know it worked yesterday, but there was 4 or 5 times where Mandela and Olasanya high pressed and won the ball, just couldn't take our chances. It's like I say, I don't mind people doing that if you've got the players to do it. And it starts off with defence. You need to have defenders that are comfortable on the ball and can pass out. But a lot of teams don't have that. Like, if you look at Hearts just now, I actually think Nielsen and McCart can play from the back. They've got decent composure on the ball. But a lot of teams will look at it and just think, if you're going to try that and you're going to get pressed, you're going to lose the ball because you can't play that way. Could you accidentally give me Kabanga's contract and I'll accidentally burn it on the incinerator? I mean, honestly, Elton Kabanga, what a signing this guy is. He's just been brilliant. I could go through that whole Hearts team and go, this guy's quality, but honestly, Kabanga is superb. Darren Rawson Johnson trying to play possession-based football with a Craig Levine team. Exactly. I mean, what are you thinking there? Stop trying to pass out for the back with that team. You can't do it. Like Jack Sanders has actually now got a move to MK Dons for about £200,000. He's not a bad player, but I mean, it's a decent deal for MK Dons. Michael Bannerman, it's a Pep thing. It's happened forever. Managers copy from the top guy like he's reinvented the wheel. Aviation, do you think we will sign Kabanga on a permanent deal, Graham? Mate, see if we don't, I'll be fucking raging. I want this guy signed now. Give him what he wants. I'm going to sound like Rio Ferdinand with Ollie. Give him what he wants. Put a contract in front of him. Kabanga's at the wheel. What a player. I keep on saying it's not the goals he's given, it's what he's given us in terms of that pace up front that we really lacked. What about Zander Clark? I think he's happy to be a backup right now. He actually said a few days ago, if I listened to his press conference thing, and he said that as soon as the deal was offered, he wasn't going to turn it down. I think this will be Craig Gordon's last season. And then Zander Clark will start next season with potentially Harry Stone as understudy. He wouldn't have signed it if he didn't think he was going to get games. Do you think we will sign Regan Charles-Cook if you know? See, I know exactly who that is. I don't know where that came from, the Regan Charles-Cook thing. I don't think it will. I don't even know where that came from, but no, I don't. Graham, I think the contract was option to buy with Elton. It was, and we have to take it. Based on the 3 games he's had, we have to take it. Clark knows CG is retiring. I think he will. He wouldn't have signed that contract if he wasn't guaranteed to get games, which is what I think. It's 100% me, Graham. Regan Charles-Cook. I remember Regan Charles-Cook at Ross County, a decent player, but I don't know. I don't even know where he is now. Like, I didn't keep any track of him. But I do want to touch on a couple of things for yesterday. So I've touched on Elton Cabangu, I've touched on Shanklin, but I do want to touch on defensively, like I mentioned there. Jamie McCart and Lewis Nielsen were brilliant. Like, a lot of folk were concerned about Lewis Nielsen, but I thought he was great yesterday. Against Kilmarnock last week, I thought he could have got tighter for the first goal for Bobby Wales. But apart from that, I thought he did well. But yesterday, I thought he was really, really good. Now, when he came back, I think there was a chance to put him out on loan again, but he can't go out now. The only team he can go to is the team he was on loan at, was at Partick Thistle. But he won't leave now. But I genuinely thought he was excellent yesterday alongside McCart. Now, if he was to start against Rangers in a couple of weeks, would that worry folk? Potentially, but I genuinely thought he was excellent yesterday. What a baller Regan Charles-Cook was. Only reason County are still kicking in the league. He's at Eupen in Belgium. His contract is up in a few months. We have to sign him. Do you know how much Cabangu would cost? I've no idea. Absolutely no idea, mate. Hopefully someone can tell me. But that performance yesterday gives me a lot of confidence going forward now. Probably about 2 months ago, I wasn't sure how we'd do, but now we're 7th in the league. Like I said, 1 point off top 6, 3 points off Hibs, 5 behind Aberdeen, who have fallen off a cliff massively. There is no reason that Hearts should not be challenged for Europe now. Honestly, the way that Chris has got us playing, the signings that we've brought in, I still believe we'll sign one more player tomorrow. Robbie, one thing I noticed was how together you guys looked. When Elton scored, for example, he ran over the subs and everyone was celebrating together, which compared to the time I seen you in Paisley is a different team spirit. Yeah, again, I mentioned this earlier on, and it was actually mentioned at Heart Standard yesterday. See when, like, for example, Lewis Nielsen made a really good tackle, Elton Cabangu was back applauding him. It is a real team spirit there, togetherness now, and that's great to see, because I don't think that's been there for a while. I'm sure someone in the chat said Lewis Nielsen had already been told he's likely to leave at the end of his contract, but you never know, especially how it gets done. I wouldn't mind Lewis Nielsen staying if he could play like he did yesterday, but again, he's only 21. You know, he's got a long way to go, but he's definitely a good player. Michael, I'd imagine it's affordable to Hearts, otherwise he wouldn't even have bothered entering into a contract. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now, I think every Hearts fan wants Cabangu on a long-term contract because he's got something we lack. Like, I didn't know. See, if you watch him against Kilmarnock last week, you don't really see the pace. But that third goal yesterday, the pace was frightening. And we've missed that since Gino left. If we don't sign Cabangu, I honestly will be as heartbroken as Sims, Pania, Lee Miller, and Ricardo Fuller. I mean, you picked some cracking players there, but Fuller for me was the best of that. I still mind that goal against Motherwell beat half the team and scored. What a player Ricardo Fuller was. Lee Miller as well. Underrated, I thought. Ellis Sims, probably one player I'd take back now. And Pania, again, ability-wise, outstanding. But we all know what happened with Pania. Fuller was unreal. I honestly wish we could have signed that guy permanently. He came from, Tevely Gardens, I think it was. What a player. Ability-wise, probably one of the best players I've seen at Tynecastle. I think he wanted to stay as well, but we couldn't afford him, which was such a massive blow because that guy just had ability that was frightening. But yesterday was unbelievable. Like, I'm still in dreamland about that. I actually watched the highlights back yesterday, on Sports Scene. And just the way that we attacked. There was a moment as well, I think it was the challenge that Benny won. To see how many players we flooded forward, there was about 5 or 6 players flooded forward to try and score. That hasn't happened for a while at Hearts. It was just such a good performance, and that's got to give us confidence going forward now that we can get up the league and challenge for Europe. Those Nielsen ping passes as class. Instead of Gordon lumping up the pitch, play it to Nielsen. Said it earlier. Lewis Nielsen's passing ability reminds me of John Suter. Darren Ross, wasn't it $1 million needed for him? Yeah, it was. And we couldn't afford that. If only. What a player he was, by the way. Michael Bannerman, Spittle was excellent as well. I mean, that telepathy with Spittle and Penrith on the left-hand side is unbelievable. We don't have that on the right-hand side, though. That's why I want a wide player him. We don't have that on the right-hand side. All right, Roscoe Boy, what's happening? Is there any future in this team for Boateng? Very good question. Right now, I don't think there is. And I know there's somebody on the chat that doesn't like Boateng. I don't mind him. I think he's all right, to be fair. But I don't think Boateng will start now. I think he's probably 5th choice, personally. But our next game now is against St Mirren in the Scottish Cup. Very tough game. St Mirren off the back of that defeat to St Johnstone yesterday, which was unexpected, but going to Paisley is not going to be easy. I think in terms of team selection, I'd probably keep it the same team. How can you change a team that's won 6-0? I'd keep the same team, but I wouldn't be surprised if Critchley does make a change, because he does tend to make a change. But yeah, I'm very, very unsure about this game. Yeah, Darren, I'm 50-50 confidence for that game. So am I. Paisley's not easy to go to, but I've got to have confidence going into that game. It's a Scottish Cup game. You know, if we win that game, we're in the quarter-final, then you take whatever you get in the draw. But I think I saw a stat that we've not been drawn at home in the Scottish Cup for, how long is it? 2 years or something? Absolutely crazy. Going to the Rangers game today, I can see that being 4-0 Rangers. That's my prediction. And I also see Celtic beating a manager that's Motherwell 3-1. But yeah, I just think that, you know, there's a lot of confidence in this team now. There's a lot of players coming back. Like Lawrence Shanklin looks back to full fitness. How tall is Steinwinder? 6'1", 6'2", I think it is. Wasn't it when we got Gov from Celtic? Yes, it was. It's crazy how that works out. That we've not had a home draw for so long. But, you know, Paisley's going to be difficult. But we've got to take confidence from that yesterday. I mean, what a win that was. And I don't think he'll change him in a team. You can't change him in a team that's won 6-0. So we'll see what happens with that next week. But it's a big, big game. But I'm looking forward to that now. After that yesterday, I'm still buzzing about winning 6-0. But what a performance that was yesterday. Benny will stub his toe and be out for 5 months, so Boateng will just need to wait a wee bit. So before I go, I just want to talk about tomorrow. Transfer deadline day, 11 o'clock. So I think there'll maybe be more outs than ins, but who leaves is going to be difficult to get players off the wage bill. And who wants these guys? Who wants Oda, Mackay, Grant? It'll be difficult to get people off the wage bill. But I would like one more player in. I would like a winger in on that right-hand side. But whether we get one, I don't know. Cabango is good. Cabango is class, mate, honestly. Maybe we'll depend on if we get a right back or if Benny gets ill. Yeah, I would like a winger. I've said this previously, I want a wide player. We've got balance on the left, but nothing on the right-hand side. Musa works hard, but he just doesn't have that. He doesn't have the pace about him, I don't think. So I'd like a wide player in. So we'll keep an eye on what happens tomorrow in terms of transfer deadline day. I would like to see a few players leave. The players that were mentioned earlier, the likes of Oda, Mackay, Grant, but getting them off the wage bill is going to be difficult. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But again, I kind of said before as well, Danny Armstrong, yes, 100%. If we could sign him, I'd be delighted with that. But I said previously that for me, deadline day doesn't feel the same anymore. Like, I would watch deadline day all day. But I don't really watch it as much now. Maybe watch an hour of it. It doesn't feel the same anymore. You don't have like Harry Redknapp winding his window down talking about transfers. You don't have Peter O'Dowd-Wingy turning up at a training ground when he's not even left the team yet. It doesn't feel the same anymore to me. Heard you was really getting his stuff. I agree, Game. Arsenal would be perfect for the right-hand side. I honestly think Arsenal would give us something completely different. January 2006 was fun. I remember listening to Sports Sound Through the Window programme that they did. And like every 5 minutes, Hearts will sign somebody. It was mental. They were pretty much, most of them were pretty poor. Although Bruno Aguiar and Jose Gonçalves signed in that window. I think that was also the window we signed Mirsad Buzlija, the Bosnian bullet, £850,000. Still the most we've ever spent on a player, and he was shit. What's your thoughts on Rangers signing Rafael Fernandes? I don't really know much about him, so it's difficult to comment on that. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully a few players go out. Hopefully get one more in. Neil Critchley did say yesterday as well that we are still looking. He said he didn't want to tell lies. We are still looking. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm still looking for one more player coming. Also, £350,000 on Juho Michaela. Michaela scoring against Barcelona. Then we went and got beat 3-1. Ronaldinho was outstanding that day. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to have to leave because my laddie's got a game shortly. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. Thank you for joining my live. It was much appreciated. Thank you for all the comments. It really is appreciated. Hope you have a cracking Sunday, whatever you do. And I'll catch you later, folks.